You know, when you get to be my age, 90 years on this earth, people start asking you questions. They want to know the secret to a long life. They want to know what matters. But the question that haunts me, the one that keeps me up some nights, isn't about what I did right. It's about what I'd do differently if I could go back. I'm Harold. I've lived through a world war, raised 3 children, buried a wife I loved for 62 years, and watched the world transform in ways I never could have imagined as a boy. And I'm here today because I don't want you to reach the end of your story with the same regrets I carry. These aren't theories. These aren't things I read in a book. These are the 5 things that weigh on my heart when I'm alone with my thoughts. Number 1, I regret not telling the people I loved how much they meant to me while they were still here to hear it. My father died when I was 43. He was a hard man, a factory worker who believed that putting food on the table was how you showed love. We never hugged. We never said, "I love you." That wasn't what men did back then, or so we told ourselves. The day he died, I stood over his hospital bed and I finally said it. "I love you, Dad. I'm proud to be your son." But he was already gone. His eyes were closed. I'll never know if he heard me. I wasted 43 years being too proud, too embarrassed, too wrapped up in what was normal to tell my father what he meant to me. And I can't get that back. I can't get any of it back. My wife, Margaret, I love that woman more than life itself. But how often did I show her, really show her? I'd come home from work tired, sit in my chair, read the paper. She'd make dinner and I'd eat it like it was my right, like she owed it to me. I'd say thanks if I remembered. But did I tell her she was beautiful? Did I stop her while she was washing dishes and just hold her? Tell her that my whole world only made sense because she was in it? Not enough. God, not nearly enough. You think you have time. That's the lie we tell ourselves. You think there will be a better moment, a more appropriate time, a day when the words will come easier. But those days don't come. And then suddenly there are no days left. Don't wait. If you love someone, tell them today, tell them now. Say the words out loud, write them a letter, call them, do whatever it takes. Because I promise you with every fiber of my being, you will regret the words you didn't say far more than any words you did. Number 2, I regret sacrificing my presents for my children's presents. I worked hard, 60-hour weeks, sometimes more. I told myself it was for them, for my kids. I was providing. I was being responsible. I was doing what a good father does. But I missed my daughter's first steps because I was at the office. I missed my son's baseball games because I had to close a deal. I missed bedtime stories, homework help, Saturday morning pancakes. I missed the sound of their laughter echoing through the house at dinner time. My children grew up with a father who was a ghost. I was there in the photographs on the wall, but I wasn't there in their memories. Not really. Not in the ways that mattered. And you want to know the cruelest irony? They didn't need the bigger house. They didn't need the fancy vacations or the expensive toys. What they needed was me. They needed my time, my attention, my presence. They needed a father who showed up. My son is 62 now. We have lunch once a month. We make small talk about the weather, about his work, about safe topics. But there's a distance between us, a wall I built brick by brick with every missed moment, and I don't know how to tear it down now. When you're on your deathbed, and trust me, that day comes faster than you can imagine, your children won't remember how many hours you worked. They won't care about the promotions or the salary increases. They'll remember whether you were there. They'll remember if you showed up. Time is the only currency that matters with the people you love. And once you've spent it, you can't earn it back. Number 3, I regret playing it safe instead of taking the risks. that called to my soul. When I was 25, I wanted to be a photographer. I wanted to travel the world, capture moments, tell stories with images. I was actually good at it too. I'd spend my weekends in the city photographing people, places, life as it unfolded. But it wasn't practical, it wasn't stable, it wasn't what responsible people did. So I took a job at an insurance company. I wore a tie, I filled out forms, I played it safe, and I was miserable. For 40 years I was miserable. Margaret and I talked about traveling after retirement. We had plans: Paris, Rome, the Greek islands. We'd lie in bed and dream about it. Someday, we'd say, when we retire, when we have time. But then she got sick, and by the time I finally had the time, I no longer had her to share it with. I went to Paris alone 2 years after she died. I stood at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and all I could think was how much she would have loved it, how her eyes would have sparkled, how she would have held my hand. We had 30 years to take that trip. We waited for the right time, but the right time never comes. There's always a reason to wait, to be cautious, to play it safe. Listen to me. Your dreams have an expiration date. That business you want to start, that book you want to write, that person you want to ask out, that place you want to see, they won't wait forever. Your body won't wait forever. Life won't wait forever. Take the risk, make the leap, do the thing that scares you, because the pain of regret is so much worse than the pain of failure. At least with failure you tried, at least you know, but regret eats at you. It whispers, what if, in the quiet moments for the rest of your life. Number 4, I regret being so concerned with what people thought of me that I forgot to be who I really was. I spent so much of my life performing, being who I thought I should be, saying what I thought people wanted to hear, hiding the parts of myself that didn't fit the mold. I had opinions I never voiced because they weren't popular. I had interests I never pursued because they weren't masculine enough. I had friends I distanced myself from because being associated with them might hurt my reputation. I remember in 1968, my neighbor, a good man named James, was being harassed because of the color of his skin. People in our neighborhood wanted to drive him out, and I said nothing. I did nothing. Not because I agreed with them, but because I was afraid of what they'd think of me if I stood up. That silence has haunted me for over 50 years. James eventually moved away. I never apologized. I never made it right. And that cowardice, that desperate need to be accepted by people whose opinions shouldn't have mattered, it stains my conscience still. Here's what I've learned. The people whose opinions you're so worried about, most of them are too busy worrying about what you think of them to even notice what you're doing. And the ones who do judge you, who do criticize you, they won't be there at the end. At 90 years old, lying in this body that's failing me, do you know what I wish? I wish I had been braver. I wish I had stood up for what was right, even when it was hard. I wish I had pursued my passions, even when people didn't understand them. I wish I had been authentically, unapologetically myself. And finally, number 5, I regret treating life like a dress rehearsal instead of the main event. We tell ourselves we'll start living tomorrow. We'll start exercising next week. We'll call that old friend next month. We'll take that trip next year. We'll say those important words soon, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, soon. These are the most dangerous words in the human language. I treated the first 70 years of my life like I was warming up for something, like the real living would start later, when I retired, when I had more money, when circumstances were perfect. But this is it. This is the show. There is no dress rehearsal. Every single day you wake up is a day of your actual life. not practice for some future version of it. I'm 90 years old. I can barely walk without my cane. My hearing's mostly gone. My children are elderly themselves. My wife is gone. Most of my friends are gone. And all I have left is the memories. And when I look back at those memories, you know what I see most clearly. All the moments I was too busy to appreciate, all the sunsets I ignored because I was rushing somewhere, all the conversations I cut short because I had things to do, all the joy I postponed for a tomorrow that I assumed was guaranteed. So here's what I want you to understand, really understand, deep in your bones. Tell people you love them. Today, now. Show up for the people who matter. Your presence is the greatest gift you can give. Take the risks your heart is calling you to take. Chase those dreams while you still can. Be yourself unapologetically and courageously. The right people will love you for it and treat today like it matters. Because it does. It's the only today you'll ever have. I don't know how much time I have left. Could be weeks. Could be months. Maybe if I'm lucky another year or two. But I know this. I won't waste what remains worrying about things that don't matter. I won't waste it being someone I'm not. I call my son every week now and I tell him I love him every single time. I tell my grandchildren stories even when they don't ask because I want them to know me before I'm gone. I sit on my porch and watch the sunset, really watch it, and I appreciate that I'm here to see it. I'm doing now what I should have been doing all along, living deliberately, loving openly, and making peace with my regrets by ensuring I don't create new ones. You still have time. Please don't waste it the way I did. Learn from an old man's mistakes. Live, love, risk, be real, and appreciate each day as the precious, unrepeatable gift that it is. Because I promise you, when you're sitting where I am looking back at your life, these are the things that will matter. Not the money, not the status, not the possessions, just the love you shared and the life you actually lived. Don't wait until it's too late to figure that out.